product bundles are more important, they're more therapeutic than individual products. It's easy to get excited about new launches that a company announces at their seminar. It always is. It's great. It's wow, look at this new product. I can incorporate that in what I'm doing. Product bundles are always more effective than just single one-off products.
Now, I'm going to give you a little background. I'm going to give you a little introduction on Mike, because Mike and I have known each other for a couple of years now. I graduated chiropractic school in 2017. Said no to running a chiropractic office and draining my life for whoever knows how long, working tireless hours, trying to barely make ends meet. Said no to that. I got introduced to Systemic Formulas, the supplement company, who was like 20 minutes from my house. They were hosting a conference, and so I was like, well, it's in my backyard, so why not? I'll just go. That was the first time I met Mike and everybody else in the Systemic Formulas team, and where I got introduced to this world of functional medicine at a top level, top tier. So since the office is close by my house, it was easy for me to just jump in, run over there, and grab my supplements when needed. Our brick and mortar practice was about 7 minutes from their headquarters, so I would easily just go in, and I would always say, "Hey, Mike, numbers never lie. Numbers never lie." Because I'm a really big fan of blood work. If you guys didn't know that, you do now. Blood work and the numbers. So things happened. Mike decided to leave Systemic Formulas and go out on his own. And I thought that he was working for somebody else. I get a phone call the beginning of this year, actually, January of this year. And it's Mike. I said, "Hey, Mike, what's up?" So we have this chat, and I said, "Wait a second. Are you like solo? Because I thought you were working with someone else." And so it's total misunderstanding. Like, freak, if you're solo, like, yeah, you fill a major hole in my programs. Because look, I can do the business. I'm a rock star of business and mindset and money now. But it's the clinical that it's just not my jam, because I did not want to run a functional medicine practice and be the best doctor in the world, but not know how to run a business. So I focused so much on the business and fixing my relationship with money so that I could go to higher levels fast. So Max filled in this huge gap that I had in my practice on my team. And he knows everything there is to know about the supplement industry. I mean, everything from how products are being made, where they're getting sources of their herbs from, to capsules and what they're made of, like things that I don't even know exist. He knows. Okay. So Mike is going to come on and walk you through how he creates a protocol. Now, for those of you who are like, I hate protocols, I want to do one-on-one and muscle test everything. That's great. You can still do muscle testing and personalize everything. However, there is a group of people who do not need one-on-one high intensity stuff. So, for example, I go to church on Sunday, and there was a wreck. There's a mom or a father and a wife, a husband and a wife, were driving their truck. They got T-boned, and their truck just goes like this, rolls 2 times. They were able to get up and walk away from it. However, they both have concussions. And I said to them, "Oh, sweet. I have a new program for concussions. It's the brain program. Would you be interested?" Like, yeah, like, shoot us some information. Now, here's the thing. I don't ever need to meet with them, like, ever. I could hand them over the protocol, the program. They can run with it and do DIY. Okay. So there's a whole other audience that's just like that can pay you $3,500. You can make $2,500 on the back end simply because you have the expertise, the 20 years of experience to get you where you are today. So think about the different people you can serve when you have some sort of set program, set protocol. Okay. Personalization still works. Don't get me wrong. You can do both. Let's just expand who you can help and how many you can help with another platform. So Mike's going to walk you through what his thinking process is as he creates these protocols. Here's the cool part. We have a secret for you at the very end. So be sure you stick around, because we're not done with just today. All right, Mike's going to share with you a secret at the end. I'll just leave it to that. All right, Mike, come on in.
Okay, I'm here. Thanks, Kylie. Good to have everybody here. So I am so excited. I mean, here's the thing. I understand that, even though nutraceuticals, that's the fancy name for supplements, right? Nutraceuticals, natural products, alternative remedies, they are a staple in the majority of your practices. Maybe you have a lot of experience with them, maybe you don't. And so I realized that all of you are coming at this from all walks of life and choosing the right ones. So if nutraceuticals are something that you have been using, or if you've been using them for 20 years, 30 years now, despite that, I understand that choosing the right ones for each patient's specific needs can be challenging. It can be daunting. And like Kylie pointed out, there's a time and place for building programs. And I've witnessed some successful practitioners that spend more than $1.5 million per year wholesale supplements because they've established a signature program that they scale with their business. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't also do supplement tweaking in conjunction with those programs. So while there isn't an end-all be-all signature program, there is a time and place for that, if you want that to be your jam. But what my goal here today is to show you how to incorporate like a foundational protocol, but also tweak on top of that. So you can make it your own, but you also have the ability to personalize where that's needed. And I'll make sense of this. So let's just be clear. I mean, I want to make sure that I provide as much value as possible today. So my goal at the end of this hour and a half is that you have a better understanding of how I navigate supplement choices for the best possible, the best clinical outcomes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get through what I look at as 5 core steps that I use daily to help other practitioners create supplement programs, supplement bundles. Protocols is a term we often use, but it's really you're putting together these supplement bundles and how you draw the line and what works well for you. So I follow these 5 steps because number one, it eliminates overwhelm. Because I think with the vast industry that dietary supplements are or is, it can cause this sense of overwhelm. You get a product catalog from a company that you just established an account with. The rep is very helpful, or maybe they're not. But in either case, even if your rep is helpful and even if customer service for that particular company, Cellcore, Designs for Health, Thorne, Systemic Formulas, whoever it may be, there can be a unique sense of overwhelm in terms of learning. And people invest in seminars. They fly out to Utah. They fly up to Idaho. They fly out to New York. They try to embrace this new company, and so that they can have the golden nuggets that they need to put into practice with these supplements. But still, there can be this sense of overwhelm. There are these gaps that need to be bridged. And so what I want to do more than anything else during this little bit of time that we have here today is to kind of ease that overwhelm if I can. And just make it easier for you as far as how I put together a bundle of supplements for you, the practitioner, and then it makes it easier for your patients to comply with. That's the whole goal, regardless if you're a muscle tester, functional medicine, or both, whatever forms of testing you use. If you do blood work, fantastic. If you do the meta-oxy, if you do other forms of functional medicine testing, or I mean, if muscle testing is your jam, I mean, I understand that we're all coming at this from all different walks of life and levels of experience. So there's three things that we're going to do a deep dive into. The first thing is I know there's a concern for many of you because of your integrity as a practitioner and putting together like a signature protocol. You want it to be precise because you really care about the long-term outcome of your patient. And so that's the first thing. And however, considering the many supplements that you're looking at, it's hard to know where to draw the line. It can become daunting. It can take a lot of time. And if you keep going down that path of customization and trying to make a protocol so precise, you run out of time. And it's hard to leverage your time, and it's hard to grow a business around that. So what I'm about to share with you is how you can have ready to go protocol launch pads. Okay. Launchpad protocols, foundational protocols that you can utilize regardless of the condition or regardless of the what you're confronted with your patient. They have rosacea, if they have gout, if they have hair loss, if they're struggling with sleep apnea, if they have chronic headaches, regardless of what your patient is presenting to you, there is a way where you can focus on a protocol launch pad and then you build from there, and it saves you a lot of time. It helps the process become more efficient. So number one is precision. Number two is efficiency. Okay. So you'll have the anchors, you'll have the launch pad, you'll have this foundation, and that's going to help the process be more efficient. So how I craft a protocol, how I craft a product bundle a little bit quicker is, and this will actually help you put it together for your patient. That's the goal, is so that it can be more of an efficient process and you don't have to start from ground zero every single time. In other words, it's been common for me to receive questions over the years about a protocol for a specific condition, and why there's so many. There are so many different conditions, and I've written protocol libraries for systemic formulas. I wrote a protocol library, a quick reference guide, and although those can be helpful tools, there is that overwhelm where you feel like you have to start over at ground zero every single time because it's a new patient. And I mean, if that's your jam and that's what you want to go, if that's what you want to do and you want to customize that every single time and you have a method that's working for you, that's fantastic. But what you can also establish is this more efficient way where with every new patient that is going to do a protocol, you can start with this already built foundational protocol. Okay. And so number three is we're going to make it practical. And what I mean by practicality with a protocol is that you have to draw the line somewhere. You have to make this where it's, despite the fact that there are so many herbs and vitamins and minerals and amino acids and compounds and greens supplements and collagen and whey protein and glutamine and all these things, right, that are thrown at us with marketing, and there's great stuff out there, considering all the different professional brands, to where it's hard to like know where to draw this line, because aloe is good for the gut. Why did I forget about aloe? I already had this gut program already set up, but now my colleagues are telling me that I'm missing out because there's aloe or there's this L-Gut product by Systemic Formulas I didn't know about, but I thought my protocol was already set in stone. I realized that there's a lot out there. And so you can still move forward with a very practical, a very effective protocol, and you can still draw the line and try not to be carried away with FOMO, with that fear of missing out, because there's always other things that can help eliminate parasites. There's always a new company that shows up. If you're using cell core products to help with parasites in conjunction with systemic formulas products to help with parasites, but then you learn about this biocidin product, like, oh, well, did I miss out? Is my patient not going to see the same results? It's okay. The products, the protocol that you've put together, you do have to draw that line. You do have a business to grow, and it still will be effective, despite the fact that there's so much good out there. So, all right. So these are my rules for putting together a supplement program. These are my rules, and there are many like them. But even though these ones are mine, it doesn't mean that they're exactly what everyone should do. Okay. These are what have worked for me as I've learned, as I've had this opportunity to work closely with practitioners for many years and help them put together their supplement bundles. So these are backed up with loads of evidence-based research. They really are, because that's how I live. And there's some that are purely anecdotal. Okay. Not everything I do I mean, most of what I do and most of what I put together is based off of evidence-based research, whether it's omega-3s, whether it's herbal compounds, vitamins, minerals, whatever it is, whether it's regards to A1C and glucose, or if it's about the bacterial, fungal, viral, parasitic. I like to go back to the core of really what has been shown to make the most efficient, most long-term results for your patients. And so these are my non-negotiables, and these are not gimmicky things. These are not one-off little things. Okay, but these are things that are fundamental core components that I like to follow. All right, so in my 20 years of experience in the dietary supplements industry, I've seen the benefits. And I'm very confident about those benefits. Natural products aren't only there to help somebody just gain a handle on their chronic illnesses and autoimmune conditions, but really, I think the higher cause, the goal of natural products is to not just help in the general sense, but it's to help more specifically. It's to really help somebody rectify their situation. It's to help them so that they not only eliminate small intestine bacterial overgrowth, but that it doesn't come back again. It's to really help them rectify their A1C levels. It's to help them rectify this psoriasis issue that they've had for all these many years. That's really the confidence that we can have with nutraceuticals, is their capacity to help rectify a situation long term. That's really the goal, and that's the passion. And I've seen the most successful practitioners that I have witnessed grow businesses around that. They have that level of confidence that their program is really going to make that long-standing of a difference. All right, so I'm the former clinical director of Systemic Formulas. For those who aren't familiar with Systemic Formulas, it is a professional line of dietary supplements. They provide products for doctors, licensed practitioners, like each and every one of you. And while I was there, I worked closely with a biochemist and also a certified nutritional scientist, a CNS. And he is also the chief of operations with Systemic, which his name is Dr. Shane Morris. And by working alongside him, it gave me a deeper look into natural products and what makes a formula more of a therapy and not just one ingredient or a few ingredients to get excited and hyped about. I think what I learned really is how synergies work together, how multiple therapies, multiple therapeutic approaches that you can take with dietary supplements. and backed with research, clinically dosed herbal remedies that you can use in your protocols. And so it gave me that level of experience. Now, even more important that is that daily for more than 8 years that I was there, it gave me this clear snapshot of what practitioners from all walks of life are going through and what they need to help their patients get better and to build their brick and mortar or their virtual practice using protocols. So let's walk through this. I'm going to walk you through my 5 steps here. As I had stated earlier, there is a protocol launchpad, and that's really number 1. Start with a protocol launchpad. Now, this will save you time. You don't start from scratch every single time. That can be tough. That can be like learning a foreign language every time you have a new challenging patient. Now, if that, like I said earlier, if that is your jam, if that's the route you want to go and you found a way to start from scratch every time, that's wonderful. Go for that. Go for it. But in terms of being able to leverage your time, establish a protocol launchpad, and I'm going to show with you more about that here shortly, about what that protocol launchpad looks like that you can establish, okay? Because I've often been asked continual product and protocol questions. Mike, what is a protocol for rosacea? Mike, what do you do for gout? What about hair falling out? What about SIBO? Well, shouldn't you start with it? Well, are we supposed to start with the gut first? Well, no, let's start with infections first. Well, what about heavy metals? Well, parasites feed on heavy metals. How do we start? You know, there's so many ways of generating a protocol, but this will actually help you make things more simple if you can establish a protocol launchpad. You have this foundation ready to go every time. And then what you can do is you can build on this foundation. So if you do have somebody that is struggling with blood sugar, they're struggling with their weight loss resistance, they have hormone resistance, then what you do is you add 1 to 2 or 3 products that are targeted towards those areas of concern. Okay, those areas of focus, the blood sugar, if that's what it is, if they have insulin resistance, you add that to the launchpad protocol that you already have in place. And so we're gonna talk more about how to do that here in just a moment. So you make your signature protocol that works for you, that you can be passionate about, or you make 2 to 3 signature protocols, and at most that are your base or that are your launch pad. Okay, so some of these overlap, and in fact you can establish programs where you can actually those programs can actually help facilitate each of these. If it's brain health, if it's mood disorders, if it's ADHD protocols, you could incorporate these foundational, this launch pad, and still add other helpful remedies to help with mood disorders, to help with those with autism or other degenerative disorders associated with the brain. Maybe it's neurotoxicity, thyroid, IBS, Parkinson's, autoimmune issues, long-term COVID, sleep, migraines, pain. Yeah, anything for Alzheimer's. These are your anchors. Really, these are clearly, there's a reason why you chose these 1, 2, or 3 areas of focus as a practitioner. Maybe you have more, considering just all the many things that your patients show up with. Now, these are your anchors. These are the things you're passionate about. And any new condition outside of these anchors can still come back to your anchor as a foundation. So if somebody does have a gut health issue and your focus is brain, you can bring those together to make the process easier for you. All right, so this helps make your lives, your patients' lives easier. It helps with your business. As you're confronted with other conditions, you come back to this foundation, okay? And this is so that you don't have to get carried away in all the nitty gritty details, okay? If that's not your jam, okay? If although there's protocol libraries, there's quick reference guides, and if you want to take the time and do your due diligence and figure all that out, go for it. Okay, there's tools, there's resources, there's things like that that are available. But if you want to save time, there's a way to save time without having to get so carried away in all of the different tangents, all the nitty gritty perfectionism of a protocol. So the clinicians I've witnessed do the most volume in supplement orders, okay, who are generating the most growth in their practices, don't get too carried away in the nitty gritty perfectionism. In fact, they don't have access to higher quality protocols or products than any of you. They've just figured out a way to scale systems and build upon those systems. And so keep that in mind. Don't let perfection stand in the way of progress. If cellular detox doesn't get you excited, or if that's not your jam, okay, then don't feel like you're going to miss out. Okay, if you don't do the cellular detox regimen, or if you don't focus on neurological health, because that's just not your jam, it's okay that your jam is parasites. It's okay that your focus is Lyme, and or that your focus is skin health stuff. So that's fine. So product. Let's go with number 2 now. That was number 1. Number 1 was establishing a protocol launchpad, and I'm going to share that with you here in just a few moments. What the protocol launchpad can look like for you. Number 2 is that product bundles are more important, they're more therapeutic than individual products. Okay, it's easy to get excited about new launches that a company announces at their seminar. It always is. It's great. It's wow, look at this new product. I can incorporate that in what I'm doing. But product bundles are always more effective than just single one-off products. Okay, so versatility is always better. And this is ultimately what sets the high achievers with protocols and those who really scale programs in their business apart from the rest. It's really this, how things are bundled together to yield the best clinical outcomes, and also really get down to the core of the issues that your patients are dealing with. So, and I don't just mean that from the business end of things, okay? This is also for the clinical. Let's say that your patient, your client, has issues with vitamin D. Let's say that their vitamin D is being shown as very deficient or rock bottom. So you look for a company's vitamin D product. You try to learn what Designs for Health, what Systemic Formulas has, or what Thorne Research has in terms of a vitamin D product, right? But you also need to address these other concepts, because what I found is that things like vitamin D, vitamin D3, or things like methylation, or regardless of what the focus is nutritionally, it works better when in conjunction with other therapies. So vitamin D3, when it's combined with antioxidants, when it's combined with zinc, when there's magnesium, when there's other herbal compounds, okay, it distributes throughout the body better. Okay, omega-3 fatty acids, just as a standalone. Okay, that's not as effective as when you have all of these other components, other nutrition that are actually helping facilitate that. They work in synergy with each other. And that's the whole point of a product bundle. And putting that together is really the synergy. It's the multiple therapeutic approach. And so number 3 is the synergy. What distinguishes a good product or protocol from a mediocre one is synergy. Okay, this is what really creates this multiple therapeutic approach that's going on all at the same time. So, for example, like iron in a blood work course that Dr. Kylie and I are a part of, iron is a big focus. It's common that people are looking for the best quality way to actually help with ferritin levels. Okay, and that's just one example. Okay, there's many other concerns that come up as a result of blood work. Now, Standard Process has what's called FerroFood. Systemic Formulas has a multi-mineral product that has iron in it. Thorne has Ferrazord. There's Hemevite by Apex Energetics. There's all these options that could actually help facilitate that. But when you're deciding on what to do, look for synergy. Really look for synergy in a product. So if you're looking for a product with chromium in it because you found out that chromium is going to help with blood sugar, there's a lot of products out there with chromium. Okay, look for the one that has the most synergy. Look for the one that has, if you have one that has patents, one that's research backed, that's great too. Okay, like Systemic Formula's Sinulin product. Okay, Cellcore's GCO product for glycemic control is fantastic. Look for synergy, and that will actually help in making these decisions, whether it's an iron product or whether it's focused on the skin health or whatever it is. Okay, so one thing that I learned from Dr. Shane Morris in my experience with him is that the concept of putting herbs, vitamins, minerals, the microbiome, amino acids, enzymes, compounds, putting them all together for a therapy, that makes a big difference in making a protocol more efficient for your patient. Doesn't take as long. You can get from point A to point B to point C faster when you have synergy, when you have all these things working in conjunction with each other. Okay, so you want to focus on. Here's the thing. I think one of the reasons why protocols can be daunting and why they can be challenging is because when it feels like the stakes are high and when it feels like there's so much at stake, then you're looking at so many products to choose from. And that's just not realistic. When you look at, you need to make this practical. You need to draw the line somewhere. So look for products that can help handle or treat more than one thing. Okay? Maybe this isn't just about vitamin D. Maybe this isn't just about parasites. What if this product has herbs that have crossover? Not only are they helping with large and small and microscopic parasites, but this product's herbs are also helping with small intestine bacterial overgrowth. They also help address fungal. They address mold toxicity. They help address the bacterial overgrowth. Okay? There are fortunately herbs and compounds that have multiple properties, multiple benefits. And so where you can take advantage and make your lives easier, where you don't have to use so many different products, you can narrow the list down, you can consolidate and choose from a shorter list. Still effective, still very comprehensive, but not so overwhelming, because there's multiple benefits that this product does. There's multiple benefits that this product does. Not only does this have vitamin D3, but it also has anti-inflammatory nutrition from antioxidants. Okay. Not only does this have healthy fats, but it also has CoQ10. It has magnesium. It has niacin. So wow, look at that. It's going to give you all these therapies for heart health, brain health, skin health, all in just one product. So you want to look for that. You want to look for the diversity in one product, and it keeps your wholesale costs down, and it also makes the lives of your patients easier. Okay. So, all right. So you want to find out the missing pieces that are pertaining to the conditions that you're passionate about. If you're passionate about helping people if you're putting together like an autistic protocol, if that's your thing, or if it's other neurological concerns, then the objective is to find what are the common nutrient deficiencies for an autistic child. What are the gaps that I need to bridge for autism? And while I'm assuming you've already gone that far, those are the kinds of products that we want to find from the company we like, or from the companies we like. You start with this foundational protocol, but then the products that you add to that are actually helping bridge those gaps. So you start with the launchpad, you add those products. Let's say autistic kids, for example, okay? Their microbiome, their intestinal mucosal barrier is struggling. Their list of the foods that they eat commonly is very narrow. So their microbiome is struggling. Okay, let's focus on that. For people who have severe Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, what are they missing? What are those gaps that need to be bridged? You can start with this foundational protocol, and then you add those helpful thyroid supports, whether it's systemic formulas, TMI, thyroid metabolism iodine, or Cellcore's metabolic activator. You use either or. You add that to this foundational protocol. Okay. All right. So let's move on here. Learn what those deficiencies are, and then find simple ways that you know what to do to help overcome those deficiencies. Okay. And I think knowing that, what I've learned is that makes a protocol easier. So if you're following a regimen where you're doing a detox, you're eliminating toxins, you're eliminating pathogens, you're detoxing glyphosate, pesticides, and heavy metals. There's a lot of activity going on in the body when you're going through a detox, right? I think what often takes place, and where people run into a bit of a struggle and they feel sluggish during protocols like this, they have low energy or brain fog during these detoxes, is because they have other nutrient deficiencies, which you could easily take care of during that detox, and they would feel so much better. So that's something to also keep in mind. All right, so let's do this. Number 4 is there's a process to go through. There is this process. The body needs a process in order to heal and get better. When you look at a quick reference guide or a protocol for the heart, a protocol for diabetes, or it's usually a bundle of products where it almost looks like you would just do it for a month. But rather than just starting with that cold turkey, we take the patient or the client through a preparatory or a priming process, right? So we go through this we go through this month 1, and then it changes in month 2, and then it changes in month 3. And commonly a 90-day program or a 90-day protocol is a very effective strategy. 6 months can also be another effective strategy that you could do. I've known others that have done 12 months out, and they've figured out a way to rotate. And I think that's something to also look at, is how you go through rotation. Because of how the body needs new stressors, also known as hormesis, this process is so important for your patients to progress and get better. You need to change things up. Month 2 should be different than month 1. Month 3 should be different than month 2, and so on. And there's a strategy that you can follow in that hormesis process. Okay. So month 1, month 2, typically month 2 is where you do a deeper dive, where the magic happens with your parasite protocol. It's really where more toxins are eliminated. There is more of that cleansing, more of that resetting that happens. And it happens more efficiently because month 1, you spent the time getting ready for that, gearing up for that, preparing, priming the body. So I'm going to walk you through a process here, and so it can make sense. Last but not least, number 5, don't settle for cheese and crackers when there's prime rib. Don't settle for the Chevys when there's Ferraris. And the best products out there, the prime rib that's there in terms of supplements are those that can handle multiple things at once. They're reputable. Hopefully they're backed with research. And there's really good programs, really reputable companies, reputable protocols that can help your patients get through a process much quicker. So don't settle with the cheese and crackers. And also what I mean by that is there's a lot of these one-offs. There's these things we get excited about. Okay. I love acai berry. I like CoQ10. Okay. I like arginine. But what often happens is that people focus their energy around an acai berry product, and it gets heavily marketed, and there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of fluff around it. And although the product is well researched, it's clean, it's well trusted, yeah, there's going to be benefits with acai berry. Yeah, there's going to be benefits with the CoQ10. Yeah, CoQ10 is backed with research. But how far is that going to go? There's benefits with bundling multiple therapies. What else are you doing with the acai berry? What else are you doing with charcoal? What else are you doing with this product that has aloe, or this product that has fulvic and humic acid? And although it has a lot of research and it's very exciting, what else are you going to do in addition? That's the whole point here. That's my whole premise. Okay? Because that's really where healing can take place, and it can become a lot more efficient.